Hello, and welcome back to what is hopefully going to be our final Owl Podlet, a supplemental piece of content for the Owl Pod, where we normally talk about Disney's The Owl House. This week, it's going to be me and Robert again without Anne. We're going to try to talk about Western animation this week, since we spent so much time talking about anime on our last episode together, and talking about Final Fantasy on the episode I did with Anne last week, so that sounds interesting. Watch that.
Which is, if not anime for the gamers,
It's true. It's still very anime, even though it's for gamers. She talked for a very long time about the story, and it's crazy. That is our longest episode of the show yet, and it's
how long?
So I cut out half of it. The entire everything she said about Stormblood and Heavensward, I chopped off because I just became less interesting to listen to, and she started to use less pictures, which just made me even less interesting. But what I did release was an hour of everything up through the end of like the main game.
Wow, the worst part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Anne would agree.
It seemed, yeah, she thought so.
Well, actually, no, Stormblood would be probably, I imagine. Well, I mean, Stormblood is bad for different reasons. Anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, the story was bonkers. I can see why people like it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be clear. Stormblood was the expansion that essentially I stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV after.
Yeah, which is too bad because apparently the one after that is like the best thing ever, and then Endwalker was also really, really good.
Yeah. I know. I'm not saying I'm done playing Final Fantasy. It's just I have other things I need to do with my life, and that experience was like not worth the time.
Well, but yeah, you know what is worth the time? Watching cartoons. We all love it.
Exactly.
And speaking of cartoons, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about anime this week, but I do want to say, the last time we were together, we talked about how I should watch Mob Psycho and Vinland Saga and all that stuff, and I'm happy to report since then I've started watching Dragon Ball Z, so I think that's really good going for me.
Fuck! No! No! God!
I should clarify, I'm watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, the shorter version with new animation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really awesome.
I just thought you'd like to know how my anime progress is going, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's the shorter version, and it's still like longer than pretty much, how would I put it? Season 1 of that, I'm pretty sure is still longer than both of the animes that I had suggested to you.
I believe so. On the website, I don't know for sure. I think the way it's broken up is into like two halves. The first half is about 100 episodes, and I think it covers through the end of the Cell arc.
You can't. You can't. I know. Yeah, but you can't. You can't just feel like we're not going to talk about this and then just say that's what you started. So no, you can't. I refuse. Don't. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Dragon Ball isn't like mid, but it's. I don't know.
But it's not good. You're calling it bad. I see how it is.
Yeah, it's like if you like read the manga, maybe that's different. But like I remember being just, I can't for a battle like shonen anime. I was just bored. I was really bored. I couldn't get into it.
So here's the thing. I've never seen Dragon Ball before. What I have watched is Team 4 Star's abridged series. And I love that. That's amazing. That's like 12 hours of content that gets you through the end of the Cell arc. So that's what I've watched. And I'm thinking, you know what? I should watch, not original Dragon Ball, because I'm not insane. I mean, original Dragon Ball Z. I won't watch the original Dragon Ball Z. But the Kai version, shorter, apparently. So yeah, I've been watching it. It's pretty good. It's still maybe a tad slow, but it feels paced well enough.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the abridged nature of it, I haven't seen that. Maybe it'll help.
There's also new animation. Not all of it's redone, but I think the fight scenes are animated, like during because I think it was made during Dragon Ball Super's run. So
that's a good sign. Admittedly, that's a very good sign.
So like the art style, it's very obvious when they switch between the old and new, because the old looks like shit and the new looks quite a bit better. Yeah, it's like watching a YouTube video at 480p and then changing it to 4K, and like it's the same YouTube video, but it's obviously better.
Half of it is like a ripped VHS recording from like 4Kids, and the other half is like dubbed Japanese. Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean,
with 4K resolution.
Yeah,
and I was like on a 480p monitor.
It really is. It's crazy because like the old anime, like I guess the way making anime back then worked is you have to like print your cells onto film and then run the film through a process. I don't really understand, but it makes animation. It makes it wobble. So like you look at it and it's like wobbles back and forth, which is.
I mean, that's.
But the new animation doesn't look like that, so it's super obvious when it switches between the two.
If it's wobbling, I think that might have just been like budgeting constraint. I think that might just. I don't know. What do you mean by wobble? I'm curious actually now because I don't know what you mean by that.
Hold on. I can just link you while I'm watching it. It bothered me, so I googled it. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, yeah, this just happens sometimes.
Okay. To connect this back to sort of Western, it happens sometimes. You connect this back to Western animation. I don't feel like I've seen that on any like old animated like Disney movies. So I was kind of like, what's this wobble? Yeah, it's just the fact that they were like shifting the paper back and forth, like the background.
Something like that. You can. I'll put this in the Alpod just where I'm watching it, because it's not on any traditionally allowable sites. But I'm watching it here.
Okay.
And you can just see like kind of like what I mean. It's like kind of shaky or something. It looks interesting.
Yeah, sure. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
The more frames you add, I guess, the more you risk that just a little tiny bit of a shift. I want to see. I'm gonna check. I want to see when we get to the different animated portion. I want to see if I can find it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not very much of the show. It's like every once in a while, there's like a couple of seconds of like nicer looking animation, and it's like, I think the fights got the most attention, and I don't know if this episode has any fights. So
it probably doesn't, but that's fine. I just skipped through all of it. Now I know the entire plot and the lightning and everything. It's very cool. No, I mean. It's like you essentially got it down to 98 episodes. I want to say this version of Dragon Ball Z Kai is 98 episodes. Mm-hmm. The original Dragon Ball Z run going towards upwards of 300.
Yeah, I also want to clarify, I think on this page, that 9 to 98, I don't think that includes the Boo saga. I think it's just everything before that, which I think the Boo saga was really long. And
yeah, probably... Yeah.
I do believe that got covered in Kai, but just not on this page. I think I can search for it and get to that also, but...
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I think the entirety of Kai is like 160 episodes or something.
I just think that, like, it's... Dragon Ball just does the thing I hate the most, which feels like it's, like, needlessly long, you know? And that comes from the person how I've watched and am continuing to consume content for One Piece. So, But and that when I say that, there's definitely One Piece is definitely also a perpetrator of that, but like in a way that like I think it doesn't. It has more. I feel like I can't. It's hard to explain. I don't know. I wasn't able to.
Well,
let's talk about something
going on
in the West.
Yeah.
Something in the West. I don't want to think about it.
Western animations usually don't go for thousands of episodes
unless it's The Simpsons.
Yeah, unless it's a episodic instead of a serialized show. Serialized shows never go that long, I don't think, in the West. Yeah, so I wasn't really a cartoon kid. I mostly watched the live-action Disney Channel. That was my thing. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. That was my thing. But I did watch some PBS cartoons, specifically Arthur. I love Arthur.
Oh, you want to talk about them? I see where we're going with this. Okay.
Well, we don't have to.
No, we should. You don't want to talk about that? Well, okay, that's fine. I was going to say, you can talk about it.
Did you watch the YouTube... Hold on, let me get the exact name of this. On YouTube, it is called Arthur's Darkest Episode by the channel Horses. It is the 9/11 episode of Arthur. Did you watch this? I linked it again.
You did link it again, and I saw you linked it earlier, and I was, believe it or not, busy working, so I wasn't really able to, take a real long view at it. But I was planning on watching it.
It's fine. It's a good video. It's not really important to what we're talking about, but I feel like it kind of establishes. I don't know. So I haven't seen Arthur since I was like 10, maybe younger. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it in so long. It's very much like for the demographic of Sesame Street and stuff.
I would say that it's a mildly more mature than Sesame Street, but
it seems to cover more adult topics, at least like 9/11. They literally have an allegory for 9/11 as an episode, which is insane that a kids show did that.
I mean, it's not insane. It kind of is like the point of children's shows is how to helping children understand the world around them, which makes sense because that's got to be like one of the largest events of the.
Yeah, it's true.
That point in time, it shaped it's shaping events even now.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Like all the next presidents for the foreseeable future are part of a long chain of cause and effect that essentially stemmed out from that event. So the fact that Arthur made an episode as an allegory for it, I think is valid.
So yeah, that's good. And
how did animation? I wonder if there are any other shows. I mean, there must have. Arthur couldn't have been alone in that. You know, how did we as a society, as they say?
That's true. How did we tell kids about 9/11? How do we explain it to them?
I don't know if we wanted to. I don't. Sorry, I clearly got caught something in the jungle of. Goddamn! I got that dino fever. Well, sorry. Goddamn. Sorry. Shit. I mean, sorry. Okay. For context, I just got back from my trip, and I was in Costa Rica, and that is where they filmed Jurassic Park.
Oh, cool. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to give context for that one. No, I didn't just eat a bunch of chicken nuggets. Dino chicken nuggets and get real sick. Definitely.
It's a good way to go, though.
It's a weird way to die. It's a good way to end it.
Yeah, chicky nuggies. Who doesn't love chicky nuggies, you know?
I will stop talking about... Also, something crazy, technically on the topic of animation, the Netflix in Costa Rica allows almost every Studio Ghibli movie, which is also what I watched when I was down there, by the way. I want to be clear. So you were like, let's talk about Western animation this week, and I had just come off watching about... almost like I just finished watching Porco Rosso for the first time, and like Castle in the Sky. I didn't watch Castle in the Sky. I watched Howl's Moving Castle for the first time.
Mm-hmm. And I'd have to set my VPN to Costa Rica then and watch some Ghibli films.
Those are all.
I've only seen a couple.
Yeah, they're really good. I also read a book when I was down there, but you're like Western animation. I'm like, yeah, dude, let's talk about it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like, this makes sense to connect to the Owl House, which is, in theory, our main podcast, even though we now have more episodes not about Owl House than about Owl House once this comes out.
Oh, man. I mean, maybe you can, like, space it out. You know, maybe this doesn't necessarily have to, like... Oh, I know, because it's going to have to, isn't it? Weekly.
To be weekly, this would have to come out. I mean, it's fine. We're talking about cartoons. It's in the ballpark.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could build a catalog up at some point, so if we did need to have, like, a week, you could just, like, do it, and then it would be like, here's the little backup one.
Yeah, that would have been smart. We had one.
I did watch one Western animated thing.
What's that?
Nimona, the TV show, a movie about the book.
Yeah,
I thought was very good.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. I've only seen, like, YouTube thumbnails, so I don't know.
Well, to summarize the plot and not actively give anything away, it's about a dude who is framed for a murder that he did not commit, as framing typically goes. And the person who is his sidekick initially goes and approaches him, assuming he did it, and is like, I want to be your evil, shape-shifting sidekick. And that's the nature of the movie. And it's about him trying to prove his innocence, as he has a creature that follows him around. And the creature's name is Nimona. And it's also based off of a book. And it's kind of like my favorite combination of, like, future magic, you know? It's like magic, but also they're in a futuristic society with robot arms. And it's like, perfect, love that. great.
Oh, that does sound very cool.
Yes, and it's very neat. I enjoyed it. It was animated very interestingly. I like it's like it was style. I love seeing more stylistic animation going on. You know, it's my favorite thing. I want America to produce more stylistic animation. It's all I want. And this was like a nice little like definitely wasn't like super diverged from the art style that we're used to, but it was like close enough where it was unique. I liked it. It was like very I kind of haven't fully thought about how they animated it in detail, but like how would I put it? The colors are very like the lines are very clean, but it's not like smooth. It still has like this sort of matte look, right? Like I feel like Pixar was always known for making things shiny and smooth all the time, and this was like very much like it treaded into matte territory, and I was like, nice, good.
And it's a 3D CG animation.
Yes, okay. It also definitely has 2D aspects to it that kind of look like very 2D, but not like always, not completely. It's more. Definitely more 3D. It wasn't like Spider-Verse or anything like that.
Which is another, and we talked about it last time, but that's incredible Western animation. It's
incredibly delayed is what it is.
That is new information because of the writer's strike and now the actor's strike, I assume. It's being delayed indefinitely, apparently.
Yeah. But also, once again, the word indefinitely has a connotation to it, which is that it means it's, forever, which is not true. It just means that, the unrealistic time frame they gave for the first movie. I mean, after the second movie came out, right? Sorry, I said first movie because I was thinking that the movie was originally supposed to be a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, Into the Spider-Verse and then Across the Spider-Verse was supposed to be part 1 and part 2, but now it's going to be Beyond the Spider-Verse. But
yeah.
It needed to be delayed anyway.
Yeah,
even without the strike, the movie was not even started, and they were like, year and a half, sure.
Yeah,
why not?
It sure sounded like this one Beyond this. Across Spider-Verse, almost wasn't even finished when it came out.
No, it wasn't. They were making changes a week, if not a day beforehand, before they started shipping, for sure.
Yeah, it's oof. Yeah, they gotta treat their workers better. I'm telling you, we need union for CG. That's what we need more than anything else.
Animators Union. Yeah. No, I mean, for sure though, we talked about this before, but I am perfectly fine with the movie taking the second one coming out literally like 5 years from now.
Absolutely.
If they gotta take 5 years.
Yep, I agree.
I do not care. Give the better working conditions. Take as long as you want. It doesn't matter. I could wait half a decade. I'm good.
Yeah, we are patient people. We're so patient, in fact, that we're willing to wait for Arcane Season 2 to come out that has no information about it, really.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about Western animation when nothing's happening.
Well, Bo, there's all this stuff that's just happened, in the past couple of years that's so good to talk about. Arcane blew everyone's minds. It was like one of the best shows ever made. How? The League of Legends show? The worst game ever made the best show ever made? How? How does that work?
It's because apparently, I was talking to somebody about why they like League of Legends, and their honest to God reaction was knowing all the lore made it enjoyable, because for them it was like they're playing like almost like an Avengers situation. Where they're like, man, all these people, all these like characters, all their lore, and I know it all, and it's like they got like a thing going on in their head as they're playing the game. So it's like, because I see League of Legends, you know what I see? Complete utter garbage. Horrible. I hate it. I am so glad that I don't like League of Legends, but I hate that I have to acknowledge that because it is the #1 world most popular game, there's clearly something to it that like plays into people liking it.
I used to like it so much. Like in middle school and high school, I played every day. It was, I think it was something I liked doing. It's hard to know, but now when I see it, I just see PTSD. It was actively bad for my mental health. And I didn't realize that until I took a break for like a year, and I realized I'm just a happier person without League of Legends in my life. This is so
genuinely. Yeah, it's so crazy that a game that like I went through scientifically and like we figured, okay, why do I not like this game? Is it because I'm bad at it? Is it because I don't like the art style? Just went through it and I was like, but everyone was like, yeah, legal. It's crazy that something that I like went through and had to prove to myself that there's no way I could feasibly like the game produces one of the best animated shows, like of that entire point in time, that entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was great. 2021 was kind of. One second, I want to see what else came out in 2021. There's a lot of stuff I remember that came out in 2021 that was pretty interesting. One that I really wanted to see was this animated movie called Mad God.
Oh, I think I have it on my list. I totally forgot what it was about, but I think I saw it on a YouTube video. I'm like, oh, that looks good. I'll write it down.
The person who directed it and like basically like wrote it and did all of it was the same person who did special effects for the original Thing movie.
Ooh, interesting.
So that all that practical work was like animation that he put into this movie. I think it was Phil. Let me just double check real quick. Or was it the original Thing movie? I need to double check.
The original Thing movie was in like the 50s.
No, I'm talking about the one with John Carpenter in it.
Yeah. The one everyone knows about.
At a bare minimum, he did. Sorry, was this no? Phil Tippett was the dude who did RoboCop. No, it was Phil Tippett. No, yeah. He's just did a lot of really good special effects and animation work and practical work for things like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, RoboCop. He did all that. I thought he did The Thing, but I think I was wrong.
Well, it's all cut from the same cloth. All very good practical effects. That's like insane to look at.
Yeah, some really amazing animation. I really wanted to see it. Haven't watched it yet, but he like just doesn't. He also did work on like the modern Jurassic Parks and the modern Star Wars, apparently. For like, oh no, okay, never mind. He was just a dinosaur consultant label for the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, 2018, labeled as dinosaur consultant. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, he did animation for the Millennium Falcon chess piece supervisor. So there's like those stuff. So he was doing stuff like that. He did stuff for Twilight. Okay. I need to see if I can find The Thing. No, I guess he was just doing a lot of work on Star Wars. I could have sworn he did other stuff. But yeah, he's just somebody that people talk to a lot, I guess. He did animation on RoboCop and like kind of that kind of like practical effects stuff. So he was also involved with Starship Troopers as like a visual effects artist. Like he's like literally like industry titan, kind of like clearly like has dipped his fingers into everything. Like he's the best at what he does, and he made and directed this movie, this animated movie, and it's gross fucking movie. Yeah,
it's a movie I would like to see. I think I have a whole list somewhere of movies. I don't remember. It must be on my phone. But yeah, that's definitely on there. Yeah, I have some other things I plan to watch in the future. As far as movies go, I don't think I even... Puss in Boots 2. That's a movie I need to watch. That's animated, that I heard is just incredible. I didn't get to see it in theaters with you and Anne, unfortunately. I would have loved to. Yeah. But I was working, so I couldn't go.
Puss in Boots 2 is quite literally amazing. It is perfect as the it is amazing. I love it. I think it's like I don't know. It was so funny to me because that movie was like, so just to talk about some of the actors in that movie. So first of all, it's hilarious to me that man who plays Zorro and Puss in Boots.
Yeah, Antonio
Banderas. Thank you. We said it together. Antonio Banderas. Oh yeah, no, is going to be probably more famous for maybe. I hope. I mean, Zorro might still be like marked in classics territory, but like that movie. Oh man, I just wish like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was somehow like more standalone.
And wasn't not like, attached to like Shrek in some way.
Yeah, because it's like I'm afraid that might it alone sort of like cause it to fall into a less. I mean, you don't have to watch anything related to Shrek to understand that. Really, maybe some like the flashbacks when he's dreaming. He's like, Mom, he's like my destiny, and he like has like a flashback, and it's like Shrek's there, and like in like a silhouette. But like, like it's just funny to me that he's going to be known. Hopefully, I pray that he is known for his the cat character that is a reference to him playing Zorro more than him being known for playing Zorro.
That is a wonderful world to live in, if that could be possible.
Yes, and then on top of that, I like that it was essentially the first movie that John Mulaney was in after people got really mad at him for cheating on his wife, and he plays a sociopathic magic murdering man. He plays, what is it called? What was his name in the movie? Big Jack Horner. Yeah, instead of little Jack Horner with the pies. Wait, have you still not seen the movie, Marcus?
No, I still haven't seen it.
Oh, I shouldn't be saying anything. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That was one of the best fucking reveals. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
I have no context. I'll probably forget because
I sure hope you do. We need to watch that. Like, really, it's genuinely one of the best fucking animated things in the Shrek-verse, if we're gonna put it away at all. Hilarious movie. I didn't spoil any of like the amazing good shit, but that was just like that was the moment where I was like, oh, like he had just like basically been like socially like kind of been like, oh, it's like John Mulaney just fell into like his drug habits again, and he was cheating on his wife. I don't know if he's cheating on his wife. I know his wife and him got a divorce. I don't know. I can't speak the specifics. I don't remember. It was just like I watched it and I was like, he has a good character here for that because he plays an irredeemable sociopath.
So yeah, I guess I gotta watch Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, genuinely amazing. Animation once again falls into the Spider-Verse category of like so much more freedom and not just literally ripping off Pixar. And I'm so happy that we're stepping into this direction. It's my favorite thing.
I agree. It's good. Variety is just, we love variety. We like to see new things. We don't need Pixar for another 20 years without any more changes.
And there isn't necessarily anything wrong with Pixar. It's just saturated. It's so much. I don't want any more of it. I think I think Elements ended up doing really well though. Actually, that's something that came out recently.
Oh, Elemental. Yeah, I heard it was just kind of fine as a movie though.
Yeah, I heard it was fine, but it did better than people were expecting it to, which is interesting. It was started off really low, and then
had some building like box office weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's totally unrelated, but just currently with movies that have come out, I love that The Flash started trying to sell NFTs. Oh my god, that's so funny.
The Flash started trying to sell?
There was like an NFT thing that was going on. Let me just see. There was like an NFT thing. Let's say I want to see if I could pull it up. It was really funny. Like the movie gets pulled from theaters.
Speaking
you can buy The Flash in NFT just weeks after hitting theaters. DC Comics superhero The Flash released via NFT on July 18th. The very same day it hits traditional digital platforms.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure NFTs are dead now. They don't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's totally like nonsensical. They're like, we're releasing the movie via NFT, and it's like, first of all, what? But also like, fuck you. Sorry, I just had to say something because I was like thinking about that. I was like,
I've heard that movie is actually like okay. It's just really ugly. Speaking of animation, and CG artists not getting enough time or money, that seemed to be the problem with that movie.
And then it like sort of, really still keeping Ezra Miller in the limelight.
Yeah.
Despite, him actively going out and like, I don't know, beating up a woman. And then everyone's like, it's been a few years, it's fine. It's like, is that how that works? Do we want to like do people want to support this still? Like, I don't.
But now the DCEU has crumbled on itself and James Gunn is going to take over. So he'll probably do a good job, right?
He will do a good job because he's James Gunn. And James Gunn, for some reason, will turn the most boring movie into something that is honestly still good to look at. The fact that the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which I watched on the plane on my way back while I was on the verge of death, trying not to like cough on the person next to me, and I was just going, was really good. Considering it was the third movie in a series, and is after like the fact that MC movies are fucking diving down kind of a little bit right now.
Yeah, they need more animated stuff, really.
They could use more.
Disney just has to embrace animation more. They got to do more unique things. What is the most recent Disney Studios animated film?
I mean, technically Elementals, I think.
No, that's Pixar though, because they're two different studios, right? There's Disney Animation and Pixar are two different things.
They're fundamentally the same now, but there was one coming out. I think it was like a light related to one. I can't remember. I think it was like let's see. I saw a trailer for it. It's not out yet. I know that the what's his name? The dude who plays Mr. Nobody in Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk is in it as like a pig. I can't remember what the name of. One second. Let me see if I can find. Alan Tudyk, by the way, amazing. Love him. Great. Gonna look at movies and TV shows. Search. Wish.
Wish
is gonna be the newest Disney animated thing. 2023 coming out. The only things named attached to it currently are Ariana DeBose or Debo. I think it's DeBose. DeBose.
It could be. It could be Dubois. Is it French?
It might be Dubois. It's DeBose. I think it's.
I don't know then.
Dubois. No, it's Ariana DeBose. I think it's probably DeBose. Chris Pine and Alan Tudyk are the only names listed on the cast at the moment. But they looked like they were trying to veer away from what they typically animated as. And it looks like the background work, to give it credit, is a little more unique.
That's good to hear.
But I don't know.
Really, what Disney just has to do is bring back the Owl House. Come on, Disney. What's wrong? Why are you like this?
I don't think I will ever understand.
Well, it's okay, because we'll get to talk about it a year from now when we get to when it becomes relevant to our main podcast.
I'm just sad.
I'm sad too. It is my favorite show of all time.
Disney in general just makes me sad because I know what the problem was that happened. That it shouldn't have been a problem. Yeah. But Disney, if anybody wants to know where Disney stands, that whole Owl House thing is extraordinarily recent, and that's just them. And they do that all the time. If you are at least even a little bit gay in your show, to not mince words, they'll just be like, no, I don't think you're getting a budget anymore. That's what they'll do to you.
It's very sad. And
so they don't actively cancel it because it would be too much of an outrage, but they'll just not give you money, and then they're like, okay.
It's fine. We still got 3 wonderful seasons that wrapped up, in a way that was satisfying to me, at least. So,
okay, I can't wait to watch it and be so mad at you for your words. I can't wait to watch it and be like, that was the most unsatisfying conclusion ever. You lied to me. We were robbed.
I mean, maybe you'll feel that way. I can't predict that. I thought it was fine, but
I'm gonna look at my roommate Ryan, who is not someone who's here and has seen the show. And I'm gonna be like, what do you think of season 3 of Owl House? And he won't say anything to me, but I will be able to tell just by the look on his face how full of it you are, Marcus, at the ending of this show.
Look, it's a great show. It's great. It is one of the shows I would give a 10 out of 10, along with a couple others like Arcane that we just talked about, as well as Avatar: The Last Airbender.
10 out of 10 is...
You've seen Avatar, haven't you?
I've seen it. I've seen Korra too.
Yeah.
I think I got through 2 seasons of Korra, though. I don't know if I watched the last season.
I think a lot of people say the second season of Korra is the worst season.
I don't think I actually didn't like Korra or anything. I just wasn't really feeling Avatar at the moment, because I was kind of like... I don't know.
That's fair. After I watched Airbender, I had to watch Korra, because it was like, oh my god, the show is so good. And Korra was also good, but just like with Disney, the studio kept screwing them over with things, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, on that topic, they're making their own studio, and they have for the past few years been working on new stuff. The people who made Avatar, they were doing that Netflix show for a while. The Netflix show still seems to actually have a little promise, at least casting-wise. Like, the choices that were made by them that are going to continue to, spread out and be irrelevant, even though they're not there. The original creators, I mean. Because they left, by the way, the production of that Netflix show a while ago.
I remember that. It really seemed to be like, oh, this Netflix show is going to be bad once they left. Like,
yeah, that was like a sign. I was like, But there's still promise for it, admittedly. It just depends on whether or not you're going to be able to like. It depends on whether or not they're going to like produce something amazing on their own. You know, Voltron I think was also their work. I remember liking Voltron. You know, there I say it. I think I'm actually in the minority on that one.
I mean, it's a mech. People like mechs.
It was they had like, oh man, they had 8 seasons. I didn't finish that one either, by the way. I think I was gonna wait for it to finish and then go back to it, and I just kind of was like got way interested in other stuff.
You watch a lot more animated stuff than I do. I do not watch very much.
I love myself some animation. It's my favorite thing.
I'm almost
just wish there was more adult animation that wasn't like The Simpsons or Family Guy.
Yeah, like mature animation that's not ugly and like adult humor and stuff. Just like,
well, you can have like adult humor. It's like, you know, we're talking about like bridging the gap. You know what I mean? Like it's like you can have like the content of a show be made for all audiences, which I think Voltron does pretty well, but there was just like, I don't know, I think it's just like I think I've hit the point where it's like if I start feeling like I see beats that are similar to something else I've watched, I kind of tune it out because I'm like it's like I'm not that I don't respect it or like think that it's good work. I'm like I need something new. I need something like you know, I need at least it to look visually interesting or have a story that is stand out different, you know? It's got to be one of the two. If you don't have either, I can't do it.
I remember immediately after finishing Owl House, I started watching Gravity Falls because I heard, that's also a really great show. People like that one. I haven't finished it. I think I have 2 episodes left, and then I'm done with the whole series. I just stopped.
Alex Hirsch for saying 2 seasons. I'm good. Thanks. Bye. What a powerful power. Do you know how hard that choice is for most people?
I'm sure.
They could have. Disney probably was fucking giving. They were like, please make more, please. They probably were begging that motherfucker. Oh. No, for sure. And then he was like, no, it's 2 seasons. I had 2 seasons planned. We're doing that. I just want to be clear that the thing that you hear the most for people is because it's so hard to make something that does actively take off. Because you know how many pilots like fail, right?
I'm sure. There must be so many.
It's so hard to let go. You know, of the opportunity and like the chance. Like you just want to keep making it. You know, I understand that impulse. But the people who have like control of that end up making some of the best stuff. And then they move on and they continue to make good stuff because they have a massively good credit to their name and they will continue to be like fine work forever. It's just that like it's you lock yourself in a hole. Like The Good Place. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen The Good Place?
I haven't seen. I've heard it's really good though.
4 seasons. Dude said, I had 4 seasons planned. We're running with 4 seasons. We're not doing any more than 4 seasons. And if they had gone any longer, I would have actually hated that show. But the 4-season balance is perfect. Every season kind of has its own thing. Where I don't know how much you know about. Like, could you tell me like?
I think I know. I believe I know the premise is that there's like angels in heaven doing things on Earth. Like it's like they're like insurance agents or something.
That is entirely not what it's about at all.
Okay.
I will say, no, The Good Place literally starts off where all the main characters are already dead.
Okay.
It's about their journey through the afterlife.
Okay, so, alright. I got the dead thing kind of correct.
Correct, yes. I will say the initial premise of the show that's sort of revealed in the first episode, for anyone who wouldn't want to know, you wouldn't want to listen to this, but it's just the first episode premise, is that essentially the main character somehow got into heaven when they weren't supposed to.
Oh.
They're, like, it's not necessarily heaven, by the way. There's, like, this whole, they explain how the afterlife works. And they're like, has anyone ever figured it out before? And apparently there's, like, this one dude who's figured it out. His name was, like, Doug Forsett, and he just, like, got really high on mushrooms one time, and then perfectly predicted what happened after you die. So they have like a little photo of him on the wall, and they're like, he did it, he figured it out. Then, but like, that's just like a bit. But like, yeah. So like, it's essentially about her, who's played Eleanor Shellstrop, and her journey through like essentially knowing that she's not supposed to be there, and like she's just like, wow, all these great people are like, you know, charity work, and they like, you know, do a bunch of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like like professors and like educators, and like they like don't like philanthropists, you know, like people like that. And then it's just her, and she's just like grew up in like Arizona and like was the meanest person on the planet. And she's just like, not the meanest person on the planet, but she's just like generally rude to everybody.
Mm.
And she's just like, and it's a premise about her essentially trying to not. The first episode essentially ends with her kind of like trying to not be a shitty person anymore. She's like trying to learn how to be a better person so she doesn't get like. It's this whole thing. It's good. But the point is that it went on for 4 seasons and they ended it. And like you having that control, especially if it's like an animated show on Disney, for like Alex Hirsch to do that. I don't know why I started talking about that so much, but yeah, like with Gravity Falls, he ended it, and that was a crazy thing to do. Like, has Alex Hirsch done anything like since, like aside from like voicing? Like, he hasn't like led any large projects, has he? I can't remember.
I would not know.
I think he did. I think he's done writing on some stuff, and he does like a little bit of like. He's probably doing a lot of pitching. A lot of people just not feeding into it, but he does a lot of guest work and a lot of guest voices. You know, because he made his bank, right? Mm-hmm. For sure. Gravity Falls is it's cemented itself. You know.
Yep, it's a lot of people love it. And I like it too. I don't like it as much as Owl House. It didn't help that I watched immediately after Owl House.
Mm-hmm.
I should have. I guess I was just looking for a rebound show, and I thought this could be my rebound show.
They are, I could already tell, very different shows. You gotta let go. You know, it's just like something's got to be let go of, and it's. A lot of time you don't see that in animation. A lot of time animated shows get ended before they really got their chance to walk, because studio stuff, or they go for too long because the creator, you know, can't really let go of it.
Yeah, the creator or the studio makes them make more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, creators never actively forced to make more. They can just leave, you know. I'm just going to put that out there. They can let their show, but I mean, it's also like, that feeling of not wanting to let their like creation like turn into something demented because it's put in somebody else's hands, you know? Every situation's different. It's just like,
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I guess Alex Hirsch might be, he's an animator, but like, you know, he seems more like a voice actor, because the fact that he does Grunkle Stan's voice and is also King. He's also King.
Yeah, he's also Hootie.
Right? Yeah, he's also Hootie. Man's got range.
Yeah.
Right? He's got range. Yeah, no, he's got range. Yeah. So it's like, he's not like, he's multifaceted in terms of his talent, even though he's like the animator, you know, storyboard dude for Gravity Falls. Yeah, he made the right choice. You know, he was like, 2 seasons. We're good.
The most interesting thing for me in Gravity Falls was the voice actors in season 2. When I heard them, I'm like, you're in this show?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
it's insane.
No, the overlap is there. Gravity Falls, Owl House, and Amphibians all have this sort of trifecta of overlap kind of deal. Another thing, I don't know who he was, but I'm pretty sure that he is involved with the TV show Inside Job.
Okay.
I think he was just a guest voice, though. Well, not a guest voice, but like, he was like a background character. But speaking of it, we're back on animation, not just Alex Hirsch. I can't believe they did Inside Job like that.
I haven't seen it. I remember hearing it wasn't as good as it should have been.
It was good. The first season was amazing. I loved it. Season 2 was also good, but I'm pretty sure they knew that they were like, because they're not getting a season 3, by the way. They canceled the show. That's what Netflix does, by the way. I just want to be clear.
Yes.
Netflix's primary function is not to create content. It's to create just enough for you to be confused when they end it. Because Inside Job was probably one of the most successful animated shows they made, and then they were just like, oh, we're ending it. And they were like, why? And it's like, an explanation. Oh, I figured out what he does. He plays the character Grassy Knoll. I recognize his voice.
With the character Grassy Knoll?
Yes, Grassy Knoll. He did assassinate JFK.
The Grassy Knoll is it's a lawn. He plays
I know,
a lawn?
but the character's name is Grassy Knoll Atkinson. So he plays Grassy Knoll Atkinson, Justin Timberlake, Paul Rudd, and other characters. So he has a lot of voices for the show. So he just kind of like, he's one of those, like, he does like a little fill-in. But yeah, no, he's like, there's like an episode where they're like trying to lay off an employee, and they end up finding Grassy Knoll, and he's like, oh, he's an old man, he assassinated JFK, they don't really need him anymore, it's fine. And then they go to fire him, and then everyone gets mad because they had to lay him off. And they're like, how could you fire him? He was the most beloved man here. And everyone like loves the dude who assassinated JFK. He's like, I've been killing Kennedys for years. It's like, okay. Love Alex Hirsch. But they ended the fucking show. And it's just like, I don't know. I just don't have any trust whenever I like start watching something that it's not going to be immediately like fucked up and like gotten rid of almost immediately.
Hey, with the strikes though, if the strikes go well, that will hopefully happen less. Hopefully.
But I think it's also got a fact that maybe Alex Hirsch was kind of sort of feeling that too, where maybe he like didn't know, like, given his, you know, the nature of his story and like what he wanted to tell, like he didn't want to like risk being cut off too early or too late. So I don't know. Well, I don't really know why he went for 2 seasons. I think he's sort of elaborated on it a little bit, but there could be any number of other factors. I'm just... it makes me scared to do anything animation-wise in that sense.
That is fair. I feel like I also like to watch things that are already done, so I can just binge them all. It's watching week to week is... I'm not a huge fan of it. I really like going back to Arcane. I think Arcane had a really great release schedule. It was 3 episodes on one day for a week, and the next week you got 3 more. It was perfect. Like, you didn't have to binge it all at once. You could watch 3 episodes throughout the week if you wanted to.
Just an extra long movie.
Yeah,
you know?
And like, because like with a lot of like, 8 or 12 episode TV shows that release weekly, that's 3 months you have to like be thinking about this thing. With Arcane, it was less than a month, and it's like all kind of at once, but not instantly. It was perfect, like the best release schedule it could have had.
I agree. It's just, I don't know. I'm just
Season 2 win. Season 2 win.
Season 2 win. Well, we're getting another season of Futurama.
Oh, I thought that got canceled like a long time ago.
It did. The new season's coming out right now as we speak.
Oh.
They're bringing it back. Futurama got canceled, and honestly, I think Futurama, I don't know what they're going to be doing in the context of the new season, because there's like some voice actor stuff related and stuff like that, but I know that I think Futurama was definitely qualified, even though it was a longer show. I think it still had more to give. I think it was probably the best thing that they ever made, because they made The Simpsons. And they made Futurama after it, and Futurama is like so much better. It's
like these stuff like Futurama, those types of shows aren't really my vibe. The shows I'm wanting to watch in the future are Amphibia, which is something you brought up. That to me is like, ooh, this could this be the next Owl House? So of course I'm interested.
I wouldn't put my faith in it. Or just, you need to stop putting faith in. I don't know.
I know.
You tell you what, Western. The reason I did talk about it before is because it makes me sad, Marcus. Because I think about all the shows that I like, and then all the things that cause them to unravel. Animated movies is all I can trust right now at the moment from America. Mitchell versus the Machines, premium.
Yeah, really good,
amazing.
But hey, remember that studio also brought us the Emoji Movie, so it's give and take.
They made the Emoji Movie.
Yeah, it's Sony Pictures. They're the people who did the Emoji movie.
Yeah, but they also did Spider-Verse.
They did. Again, it's given to... Hopefully, I hope they're going to stop making bad movies now.
I mean, they never were made any bad movies ever. Have you seen their longest running series?
No. Probably.
All the Hotel Transylvania movies.
Oh, I've heard people actually like those a lot, though.
I mean, I was saying it kind of like as a half joke, but I'm also like... I like I said, I want to say this because it is important. Adam Sandler, I think, holds the record number of performances for someone who has played Dracula.
Really?
I mean, he's played him in 4 different movies.
I guess. It's also hard to tell that's Adam Sandler. He does a really good voice.
He's just doing Adam Sandler, but he's going, "Hey, I'm Dracula." Hey.
I mean, I couldn't tell.
But the point is that he's done, like, in terms of, like, performances as Dracula, and if it wasn't, like, on a stage or, like, in a TV show, like, at record appearances on a TV show, I think he takes the cake. Like, it's funny to think that, like, who's played Dracula the most? And it's like, oh, yes, it's obviously Adam Sandler.
Who else? Who else could it be besides Adam Sandler?
Could it have been besides Adam Sandler? The man who played Happy Gilmore and 50 First Dates and Grown Ups, you know? And is responsible for the Paul Blart universe, but also sort of maybe deserves a lot of recognition for Uncut Gems. I don't know. He confuses me.
Some people are like that. It's hard to pin that. I feel like Nicolas Cage falls in that same vein.
Nicolas Cage is in an insaner vein, but definitely, like, he is the French vanilla to Adam Sandler's vanilla. You know what I mean? Like that. I
guess.
Like, Nicolas Cage is like if Crazy was bougie. Like, does that? Does that? Like, I'm not saying Nicolas Cage himself is bougie. I'm just saying that he is such a refined sense of like Adam Sandler's like, you know, and Nicolas Cage is like, I'm gonna tear off your skin. Like that's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like different levels of like what's going on, you know? That's a little much.
Nicolas Cage also plays a vampire in Vampire's Kiss, a movie I did not like.
And he also plays Dracula in Renfield.
Oh my god! Holy crap! A much more recent reference I forgot about.
Yeah. No, just... I just don't... FNAF movie's coming out. Can we go from animation into puppetry? I think in a sense.
Maybe.
Does that? I think those two sort of overlap.
I feel like we've already gone away from animation so much at various points in this episode.
I'll try. I know we have, but you know, it's the nature of it. You know, I mean, and it's like it's easy to talk about animation in the West, but at the same time, it's like, what are we going to talk about? Like, I don't know, the fucking Bluey, Peppa Pig. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just not. And Bluey's not even fucking the West. That's Australia. Like, I don't. I'm just thinking of like English-speaking animated things. There isn't a lot going on, Marcus. I'm not gonna lie. In terms of animation and TV, like a lot of it is dying down right now in terms of television, and a lot of it is picking up in terms of movies. And we kind of, you know, we're talking about those movies. You know, Nicolas Cage in Spider-Verse. You know, bringing it back to that. Yeah. He's hopefully gonna be in the next one even more because he wasn't really in.
Yeah, his voice wasn't in this one at least.
No, yeah, and so was once again also why am I forgetting it already? The dude who cheated on his what did he cheat on?
John Mulaney?
John Mulaney, yeah. He's also probably Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
Yeah. We definitely have talked for long enough. It's just like, I mean, I guess to bring a point to all of this, you know, if we were talking about anything, we're picking it up in America in terms of animation. People are picking up the ball. I don't feel like it banging my head against the wall every time I look and see what's coming out, and it's just like some Pixar clone, you know. It's like video game animation.
That just reminded me. I think Shrek 5 is coming out at some point. That's cool. People like Shrek. Also,
yeah, I think you can thank the Puss in Boots movie for that.
I will tell
you that. You can thank Puss in Boots: The Last Wish for Shrek 5.
And also, bringing it back to anime, they announced Uzumaki, Junji Ito's horror thing, is coming out now, and that looks really good. Did you watch the thing that Anne linked? Like a one scene preview. It looks really good.
I mean, you're talking about Spiral, right?
Yeah, I think it's called Uzumaki. Spiral is a big. There's spirals in the show or in the manga.
in the manga, it is about Spyro. I mean, that's like that's the American translation. I just wanted to say, because some people literally don't know it as Uzumaki.
I didn't know that. See, for me, Uzumaki is also the... Wait, never mind. That's Uchiha. Like, you have Sasuke's last name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Vegeta's little like dive-in piece that he did for Naruto when he goes into Sasuke's like one shot. I remember that. Yeah. I don't know if you ever know the end of Spiral, but the end of Spiral gets real goofy.
I don't. I mean, I can predict. Because I think it's like a cosmic horror take. Junji Ito does it. So I'm excited. I haven't read Uzumaki. The premise didn't seem very scary to me, but apparently it's really, really unnerving. So I'll be happy to watch it. Like, the art style looks so good. It's like it's all black and white. It looks like a moving manga panel. It looks really, really good.
All the live action adaptations, I feel like artwork wise and like CGI wise of Uzumaki, I feel like didn't really like fully capture what the artwork had going with it. You know, a lot of the still panels of the work is a lot of it is disturbing in a sense because there's so much to look at on such a single page. You know, it like speaks to the level of like the work of the artwork. I feel like because I'm just kind of looking at it and I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot going on there, man.
Yeah, he's
like,
very good at drawing. Junji Ito. I feel like everyone knows, the one panel of like the girl whose spiral head is like turning in on itself and her eyes sitting out. And it's a famous panel.
And that's not even the goofiest panels of that entire thing. I don't know. He's made some interesting things.
He's a horror legend.
Yeah, watch Nimona. You'll like it. It's good.
Ah, yes. There's so much I need to watch. I gotta watch more Dragon Ball Z Kai too. There's a lot of episodes to get through.
Please, just watch Mob Psycho. Just watch the first season. It's 12 episodes before you watch Kai, and then you'll get bored of Kai immediately. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. If you want to watch cool battle sequences, you're gonna get it, and it's cool. I will argue that Mob Psycho's battle sequences are probably cooler than the stuff going on in, especially end of Mob Psycho Season 2. Ooh, only 24 episodes, and you'll get to some... Oh, man, Marcus, you're missing out. You're missing out. I can't believe you're watching Dragon Ball Z Kai. What a waste.
I can't either. You know what happened? A YouTuber, totally not Mark, started releasing, reviews of Dragon Ball Z, and that I like his editing, and ooh,
yeah,
this looks good. So I'm like, I should watch Dragon Ball now.
I have a permanent problem with you and everyone else is that I'll say something and then I just need people to trust that I wouldn't recommend it unless I thought it was really good and they were gonna like it.
Well, here's the thing. I have watched some of Mob Psycho and they do like it.
Yeah, but it wasn't hooking you yet, and that's fair. But the fact that you're getting hooked on Dragon Ball, and you're like, oh yes, 20 minutes of a few punches and some talking and a lightning strike, and I'm like, God damn it, please.
Well, I just have more of an emotional connection to Dragon Ball because I watched the abridged series that I liked so much. So
I can't follow that. Everybody's got their tastes, and this is how it is.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure if I finish Kai and if I finish Mob Psycho, I will like Mob Psycho more. I can pretty much guarantee that, almost certainly.
And Mob Psycho is done on Dragon Ball, which is still going.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to watch Super and all that stuff. That's too much.
And that sucks because Super has genuinely got some amazing fights. It's some amazing animation.
I've heard the movies especially are incredible.
Yeah, you can ask Riley all about that.
Yep, I know he would be happy I'm watching Dragon Ball. He'd be like, no, screw Mob Psycho, watch more Dragon Ball.
I know, that's what I was like. I was wondering if you would talk to him, that's how you'd somehow convinced you. Because I don't want to I don't want to spoil things for Mob Psycho, but I know I could tell you things where I'd be like, nah, I'd be like, this could make you watch it. Ugh, God.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, since I'm in between projects at work, I'll probably have a lot more time to watch a lot more anime if I choose to do that.
Watch Nimona at a bare minimum. It's a good Western animated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Watch animation. It's good. It is a great storytelling medium, and Nicolas Cage and Alex Hirsch and I guess Adam Sandler are take a lot of. Wait. They're somehow in everything. Who knows? I don't know.
They're ever present.
Watch Spider-Verse, watch Mob Psycho, watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. Watch Vinland Saga if you're okay with historical dramas. And I didn't even talk about the book I read when I was gone, which is also a great award-winning book called No Longer Human. But man, I'll fit that in somewhere.
I'm sure there will be more podlets we have to do. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But for now, that's it. We've talked a lot about animation and Adam Sandler. And Nicolas Cage.
And Nicolas Cage.
So thank you for listening. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are at the Owl Pod basically everywhere. If we exist on that platform, that is our handle. So follow us TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I think actually that's all we have.
MySpace.
We don't have a MySpace. We don't have a Facebook.
Blue Sky.
Yeah, maybe. Depends. Now,
and also,
it's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
Twitter. I was gonna say X.
Yeah,
You mean X?
Oh my god, what is? Okay, well, Elon Musk is an
YouTube,
idiot.
Spotify, Apple Play, Apple Pay.
We do have our
Venmo. Zelle.
I was gonna say we do have our first episode of Owlpod on Spotify, but not anymore because I have to pay for more. But we got the first one up, so that's
Bank
cool.
of America.
That's not social media. Okay.
Epic Games. Steam.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.